everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be making our first Christmas recipe. Yay! I love Christmas. We are going to be making Christmas tree brownies today. So stay tuned if you want to see me make those. The season is upon us, and what better way to celebrate than with Christmas-themed sweet things. What you are going to need to make this recipe is going to be 1 stick of unsalted butter, which is 113 grams, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 cup of full-fat cream, 3/4 of a cup and 2 tablespoons of flour, all-purpose flour, a 1/2 cup of white sugar and a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 3 large eggs, 200 grams of dark semi-sweet chocolate and some vanilla extract. And then I have this brownie tin, which I just lined with some parchment paper and sprayed with some non-stick spray. I did that the other way around, so I first sprayed it with some non-stick spray and then I lined it with a little bit of paper, and I just lined the middle and then up the sides, which makes it easy to lift the brownie out when it's finished. I am also preheating my oven right now to 175 degrees Celsius, which is 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, that was a lot to take in. I just have a pot of boiling water on my little stove here. I boiled the water in the kettle first and then I put it into the pot. Just makes it a lot quicker and easier for everyone. And I'm going to melt my chocolate au bain marie on top of that. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my butter, and my cream to the chocolate, sort of like making ganache except with butter. And I'm gonna take this and put it over the simmering water to melt my chocolate nice and slowly so that it doesn't get burnt or go too quickly. I have finished melting my butter and chocolate and it's all in with the cream. What I'm gonna do now is take it off the heat and put it onto a tea towel and dry the bottom off, because I don't want any of the water getting into the mixture, because that could ruin the brownies. There we go. Now we have our melted chocolate mixture. What we are going to do now is add in our sugars and mix that in nicely. The sugar will melt and the chocolate mixture will cool off for when we want to add our eggs, which we are going to do next, and we don't want the eggs to cook. And if you're not sure about this, you think it's still hot, just let it stand for a minute or so, just so that you know that it's cooled down enough to add the eggs, because the last thing you want is to ruin your whole brownie batter by having bits of cooked egg in your chocolate. I'm just gonna crack my eggs into a little bowl. So I am adding my eggs now, one at a time. Beating well after each one. Now I am going to add my vanilla, which will be 1 teaspoon, sorry, not a tablespoon. And last but not least, I'm going to add my flour and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I'm just gonna mix it in until it is combined. And that is all it takes. Okay, now all I'm going to do is pour my batter into the tin. And that is all it takes. Now I'm going to bake this in my preheated oven for 35 minutes and then check on it, see if it still needs to go in a little bit longer, otherwise max 40 minutes. Max 40 minutes. Okay, so I'll see you then, which will be in about 1 second. My brownies were in the oven for 35 minutes and they are done. Now I am going to lift them out of the pan with this handy dandy little technique I use, which makes it very easy. Put them on the board and we are going to cut our Christmas trees. Now this is really simple. All you're going to do is, if you have a square shape like mine, is cut it in half. And now you are going to make triangles. So this is going to make 8 little Christmas trees. Now I have 150 grams of white chocolate and some green icing coloring. And what I am going to do is I am going to melt this white hot chocolate, au bain-marie again, and you have to be really careful when melting white chocolate, because the temperature where it starts to melt is lower and the temperature where it burns is therefore also lower. So white chocolate is a very tricky thing to melt. If you want to go an easier route, just use the white candy melts if you can get them wherever you live. Okay, I'm going to also, very important, add my coloring to my white chocolate before I melt it, because if you add liquid to melted white chocolate, it will seize immediately and become all lumpy and gross. I have 150 grams of white chocolate here and I'm going to melt it now. You can use however much you like or think you will need. If you want to cover your brownies completely, that's fine too. I'm just gonna swirl over them. I'm putting it onto the heat now. It's coming together nicely now. The trick with white chocolate is you want to take it off before it is completely melted, because it can so easily overcook or burn actually. So, and another trick is to be very careful when taking it off, because you don't want any of that moisture to get in to the chocolate, because that will also make it seize. So my chocolate looks great. What I'm going to do is quickly get my brownies. And I am just going to put these onto the baking parchment paper a little bit more. And what I'm going to do is I am just literally going to take it out and sort of just swirl it over like that. And now I'm going to take my little decorations that I have. I have just an assortment of decorations and I am just going to put those over. So I'm going to switch it up a little. final step, I have some peppermint candy canes, and I am going to open it if I can. Yep. And I just broke them in the packet, which is very easy to do. Take one. I'll take one of these and stick it in there like that. My Christmas trees are done. Christmas tree, I don't know the lyrics to the song. I am going to taste these Christmas trees now. I am sure they are delicious. Secretly, I already tasted the bits of brownie I couldn't use, but it's always better with extra melted chocolate. So, super good. I'm really scared to open my mouth now because I'm scared I have gross chocolate teeth. This is really good. I definitely recommend this recipe, obviously. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in my next Christmassy video.